of a laptop confiscated from one Kip Ngosos at the National Tallying Center. I also asked the court to look at the affidavit of Justus Nyangaya, who is one of the commissioners. Which responded? Sixth respondent. Thank you. I will summarize the affidavits. The evidence of John Mark Githongo, he has sworn 2 affidavits, one on the 21st of August 2022 and the other on the 28th of August 2022. In his affidavit, at paragraphs 2, 3, 8, 9, and 10, he talks about the illegal access into the system and manipulation of the presidential results, how it was orchestrated and implemented. At page 4, paragraph 12, he produces evidence of a video recording. Paragraph 8, page 8, paragraph 16, he witnesses how he saw this young person illegally and very easily access the Iebc system, where he was able to see information including that of his name and other accredited observers at the Iebc National Tallying Center, and pages 13 and 18 of certain screen grabs. In the affidavit dated 28th August 2022, page 2, paragraph 4, John Githongo clarifies what was given to him in the first affidavit, but more importantly, at page 2, paragraph 6, he produces the actual logs that were used to show access to the system. I wish to make a short submission regarding the evidence of John Githongo and the transcribed interview he had with this young person. And I'm discussing this in the context of the probative value of that conversation he had with this young witness. It came out that somewhere, somehow, in the current suburb, there was a group of about 50 people who had access to the ICT systems of Iebc, whereby they were intercepting results before they were uploaded on the public portal. When that was put out and the responses first came, that suggestion was rubbished. But in further evidence, I will demonstrate to the court that it now turns out that that is probably and most likely what happened and what created this entire mess that is called the election results of the 2020-22 presidential election. In the case of George Njoroge, whose affidavit is on record, whose CV is on record, a computer forensic expert with wide-ranging experience in investigating all manner of crimes, including those involving terrorism, through investigating the IT aspect. In his affidavit dated 28th August 2022, he has attached his detailed audit and analysis report of Iebc results transmission system and operating system log files. And I emphasize that amongst those he analyzed are the logs annexed to the affidavit of Justus Nyangaya, who is the 6th respondent and who was the commissioner of Iebc in charge of ICT. I emphasize this because it tells us the logs, that information from the logs comes from within the Iebc, the first respondent. And therefore, it must be taken as correct. Indeed, in one of the witness statements we have, or affidavits we have from one Mr. Nyaga, in various affidavits, together with Mr. Uma, they are defensive, together with Mr. Chebkati, they reject the suggestions, but when the logs from Mr. Nyangaya are finally analyzed, they are suddenly in particular Mr. Nyaga, forthcoming. In the case of Mr. Nyaga, and I will refer to his affidavit, his first reaction is to suggest that they have been illegally obtained and a crime has been committed and somebody should be prosecuted. In fact, the DCI should take action. That is an admission that at all times something vital to the verification of the process was being withheld, not only from this court, from the entire Republic of Kenya. George Njoroge has provided a detailed audit and analysis report, and he, at page 1, paragraph 5, confirms that he analyzed the log files. Page 11 shows the image application for each of the 6 IEBC servers that had information. And of course, at this point, I'm hopeful that in the scrutiny, the same 6 IBC servers shall be availed by the IBC as quickly as possible. Page 3, which is the part of the report that confirms several authorized individuals were illegally authenticated to gain access into the core of the live system. Several authorized individuals were illegally authenticated. We'll go and demonstrate that, because authorized could mean you're within IBC, but illegally authenticated, you have gone well above your pay grade. Page 14, 40, page 14 of the report, 14, 40, and 41, confirms that there was evidence of remote access to the system on the 13th of August 2022. 13th being 3 days after the voting. Remote access means somebody outside the walls, virtual walls of IBC. In other words, somebody somewhere sitting out of the system has the key and can log in. Transmissions of numerous forms from a single host server whose IP address was given or is given as 172 full stop 21 full stop 5 full stop 4. Contrary to the expectations that the forms would come from various KIMS kits directly to the NTS public portal. I illustrate this, or I explain this by stating that Mr. Chebukati, chairman, went on record as saying this is a very simple system. From the constituency level, it shall come to the National Tallying Center onto the portal that is public. He has no intervention whatsoever. He can't stop it. It comes. To the extent that I remember one conversation on in one press statement, he was asking the press, "Why are you so slow? You know, I'm faster than you." But that is how it was supposed to happen. But the evidence will show that we have provided that there was an illegal, malicious, and unauthorized existence of commission staff who are not officially gazetted and mandated to be part of the electoral process, but who had access. Page 15, and one of them I should state now was his personal assistant, whose name I shall provide shortly. Page 15 shows that there was evidence of, this is important, there's evidence of downloading and conversion of the forms from the system and thereafter uploading them with new information. Your Ladyship, my Lords, I explain this by saying a Form 34A has been uploaded from the constituency level by the returning officer. Before it hits the front end of the public portal, meaning the side that we will all have access to, it is downloaded, it is changed, converted into a system known as CSV, which is comma separated values, that's what it means, which is an editable format from the original PDF format. PDF, we all use that abbreviation without getting what the meaning. It means portable document format. The PDF cannot be edited, whilst the CSV provides the opportunity, the facility for editing. So if one were minded, that is the point, and we submit that is what happened when the numbers are changed within the Form 34As. Otherwise, there would have been no need for downloading the system, the documents, and uploading them after after a bit of time, sometimes hours, sometimes a few seconds. Page 16 and 21 shows a continuous generation and regeneration of 35C, yet 35C was 34C, yet 34C was supposed to be generated only once at the very end of all the information from 34B coming in, and of course 34A. Page 17, this is an important component of our submission. There was overwhelming evidence of back-tallying of presidential results. This means that a Form 34C was being generated with a result, a desired result, and thereafter what seems to happen is a process of going backwards to change Form 34B and 34A to give the result that was desired. This happens continuously, and it is illustrated very well in the evidence of Mr. Njoroge. What is obvious, but bears repeating, is that the process, the system was only supposed to work forward going, not by way of back tallying, meaning 34A, the aggregate of the 34A was to create the 34B, and the 34B aggregate would create 34C once. 34A, as many as there are polling stations, etc., going forward. But what you see from the report of Mr. Njoroge is after the voting, until the results are announced, far too much activity, all starting with the generation of a 34C. The analyst is not able to know exactly what is going on, but it can be surmised from the abbreviated logs that show you're seeking to generate a document, and in computer parlance, that means you're seeking to edit something, you're seeking to change something. My hypothesis from where I stand is, and I'll state at the very end, clearly a result for the first respondent, that is Mr. Ruto, was being arrived at well before the tally was in. And each time work was being done to try and fit A and B into that result. And through the confusion, because people who engage in such exercises make mistakes, at the very end, the result is forced on Kenyans through a defective 34C, where the commissioners cannot agree, and Mr. Chebukati walks and says, it doesn't matter, third respondent, it is my result, and you can tell what you want to the birds at Serena.